And we are going live any second. One
All
day.
right.
I wonder how many followers we got from shots fired. I wonder.
Probably a bunch.
Yeah,
I'm sure they're all watching right now.
all of my new followers were from they wanted to see Shenanimegans.
Yeah, that's
The,
it.
the more Shaddix said no anime, the more people craved it.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
Shoutouts to Shaddix for supporting Shenanimegans. Go message at Shaddix on Twitter and say, hey, I'm glad you support this awesome anime podcast.
Yeah,
And then
definitely.
recommend him your favorite anime.
Yeah, I love that.
We should get him on as a guest one episode.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. Alright, so welcome back again.
Yeah.
We're here. It's me.
Yes. Season 6, episode 2.
Yeah.
It's us.
It's me, Say Sam slash Dead Robots. And
Yeah, it's me. Lastly. Yeah,
and we got anime.
we do.
Not the
You have
right
anime.
anime, but we got anime. I'm real
Yeah.
sorry about that. That was all my fault. I had seen there was gonna be on Amazon, but when it came out, I didn't check to actually see if I could watch it. I was like, I'll watch it today before the show, and I went on and I was just like, it's not there. Oh shit,
Yeah.
it's not on Canadian Amazon. Which moment to rant here and get political. Fuck Amazon. Today's the
Yeah.
boycott Amazon day, so I'm glad I'm not fucking watching it.
Yeah.
Boycott
Yeah.
Amazon. Woo. Fuck that
Yeah.
company.
Amazon is garbage.
They actually are. And the way they,
Yeah.
like, fucking. They should never touch anime again. Every license they touch dies.
Yeah.
I'm like, I haven't heard anyone talk about Happy Sugar Life, and I'm half convinced. I'm totally convinced it's because Amazon has it, and
People just don't know it. Yeah. They
yeah,
just like don't know it exists.
yeah, because
Yeah.
only Americans can see it. But
Yeah.
no one uses Amazon anymore because I don't think people even realize Amazon's still picking up new licenses because they're like, yeah, we quit the anime thing, but apparently they didn't. They just said they did.
Yeah.
They're not advertising it at all, so it's like,
Yeah, like
it's
at the
fucking
start of every
stupid.
season, I always see the post that's like, "Oh, Crunchyroll has this stuff and High Dive has this stuff and whatever," but I never see like Amazon has this stuff or
See,
anything.
they advertised a bit when they tried to start Anime Strike, but they had the stupid double paywall. As soon as
Yeah,
Amazon Strike was gone, they just stopped caring, but apparently they're still picking up new shows, which I didn't even
yeah,
realize. I just knew they were losing shows to High Dive and Sentai, not that they were grabbing more. It's
yeah.
weird.
I think like the only bright side is that like at least they're only doing like 2 or 3 shows a season. I think like they're
Yeah.
not doing very much, but
Yeah,
still,
but they picked up the one I wanted to watch the most this season. I'm salty. I'm fucking
yeah.
salty. I'm gonna wait
Mm,
till whoever puts out the Blu-rays. I'm pretty sure Sentai probably will get them.
mhm.
You'll get to talk a bit about the show since you saw the episode, but we won't be doing it for our show. Oh, there's
Yeah,
no licensors, so I can't even. Actually, there
yeah.
might
Well,
be. I don't think they have the tools to add that stuff yet because they don't have producers or studios added on here either. I
yeah.
think that pipe's
Mal,
still down.
yeah. Mal is very slow to update things at all.
Well, it's because of all the issues they're having right now,
Yeah, yeah. It's
which
understandable, but
notifications are back.
oh, great.
Yeah, they've got more than
It's
half of this stuff back.
after like a month and a half or whatever.
Oh, I noticed something. It says the manga store isn't back yet, but the manga store is technically back. I've seen it on a few pages. Like
Oh,
I think on Cells at Work, you can you'll have
oh.
the manga.
Now
Yeah,
the
there's buy
stores,
on manga store. Like that's
yeah,
the
but the
widget was gone for a while, so that's back.
yeah.
So it's like
Now
half back.
the store itself isn't available,
Yeah.
but the stuff just shows up on pages, so
Yeah,
it's almost there.
it wasn't for a while. So yeah, that's probably the
Yeah,
next thing that's coming back cuz I know yeah, you don't want people paying money if your site's compromised or whatever.
yeah.
But also, yikes, sales at work are $18 volumes. What the fuck?
Ooh, that's a lot.
Apparently, but I think just the manga store in general, everything's more pricier here than others
Yeah,
places I see. Like I can buy through a bookstore a lot cheaper. I think
yeah,
they're probably those tall volumes that cost more though, but you see the art better. Anyways,
yeah.
uh, we don't have much news this week. 'Cause it's kind of like
Yeah,
the down week after AX.
yeah. Everyone got all their news out last week, and isn't there another anime convention coming up in like 2 or 3 weeks? That's probably gonna
Get
have more big announcements.
Oh wait, I did see one interesting thing.
Oh,
Anime Expo and New York Comic Con joined together for a convention.
oh, huh.
They're like, it's a big New York Comic Con, but it's like I think Anime Expo is helping run it too. I
Oh,
don't know. It's supposed to be huge. It's like the first time they're doing this one. They have a ton of people. It's
mm-hmm.
October 4th to 7th. The Javits
Oh,
Center. They have like people like Adam Savage, Aisha Tyler. Like, there's not that much anime people, but they do have like Josh Grell.
mm-hmm.
Weirdly enough, they have Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Ah, sure. He'll show up at anything.
They have Rob Zombie. Like,
Oh,
it's a
my
weird,
favorite anime.
it's a weird mix of people. Well, it's a Comic Con. It's not just anime,
Yeah,
but
yeah. This sounds like they had people coming on for Comic Con. We're like, we'll have an anime thing up to the side too.
yeah. I
That's
don't
cool.
know. Like, it. Looking at it, it's just like, oh, this is just the New York Comic Con thing again, but
Yeah.
my friend was saying they're partnering with Anime Expo to do something bigger. So I don't know if the information here is for the Comic Con. I think it's for the regular Comic Con, not the thing with Anime Expo.
Yeah.
But they're apparently doing something with Anime Expo, and I don't know what.
Yeah. They have the page for Anime Fest at NYCC,
Oh,
and it doesn't give any.
you
Doesn't have
found
any
the you found the page?
Yeah, I'll send you the link on Discord.
Okay, because I,
But yeah,
I just knew they're doing something. But yeah, the New
yeah.
York Comic Con does have some anime stuff going to be there, so I don't know if that's where they're going to do that announcement stuff coming
Hmm.
up. That you mentioned a new one coming up, but yeah,
Yeah.
Anime Fest.
Yeah, this basically just has details on badge pricing,
Oh yeah,
and that's it.
it's part of the full New York Comic Con thing. It's just some extra thing going on at it.
Yeah.
Um,
There's no real details on this page other
they
than that.
they did say it's dedicated to Japanese guests, so they're probably going to announce some coming straight from Japan.
Yeah.
But it's like, do you buy this $20 thing on top of your other New York
I don't
Comic
know.
Con badge? Like, that's, I don't
Huh.
know. I don't know how much their badges are in general.
Yeah, the word on this sounds like it is. Saying you will be buying NYCC badges. You can purchase badges for Anime Fest
Okay,
at a
so yeah.
discounted rate. So if you already have your NYCC badge, you get this for cheaper, I guess.
And if you don't, you can go to it, but it'll cost more. Okay.
Yeah. So
But
this will be okay.
yeah, they're doing some. It's different.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if Anime Expo just addressed its issues with too many people instead, but
Yeah. I heard about some of that stuff. That seems wild.
yeah. Our local con's getting pretty big, which
Hmm.
is neat, but we aren't growing in number of attractions or anything, just in guests, because
Oh.
the price of bringing in voice actors has gone up a lot. Like, the price
Yeah.
basically quadrupled this year
Oof.
apparently. But I also question if that's because our con decided to bring in, because someone knows someone who works, so they actually got the numbers, so like it literally like quadrupled. But they also brought in three of the guys from Final Fantasy 15 who have been going like really hard on the con circuit together. All three of them, they've been
Yeah.
really popular together. So I'm pretty sure a lot of it has to do with demand, because there's a
Hmm.
lot of new voice actors getting into the scene through Sentai's dubs that you could probably get pretty cheap. Like, people have done like 4 or 5 shows, and you could probably get in. Most people are
Yeah.
probably like, oh, they aren't a big enough draw. They don't have enough, like, because everyone wants the big names. Like, they tried to get Boku no Hero people. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. There's a lot of people who didn't want to come because they were worried about problems with the borders right now because of everything
Oh.
going on.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
actually really hard, and that's another reason it's more expensive to get people in Canada right now.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah.
that's pretty much all the news we have. Why is my AO3 page open? I forgot to close that. Whoops. It's
Whoops.
just open in another tab. Don't mind it. Self-advertisement.
Yeah.
Good.
So yeah, shall we talk about what we watched this week?
Sure. Yeah. Do you want to go first and talk about the show I can't watch?
Yeah, sure. I guess I'll just start with that because I did watch the Happy Sugar Life episode and I did not like it.
You did not.
No,
Mm,
because it's oh, I don't know. I
no,
think it was kind of a bad first episode for what it is.
I'm worried
And
now. I'm worried.
yeah,
You're making me worried. Maybe I'm glad I can't see
uh,
it.
I don't know. Because like it starts off with a really dark scene at the start where the two girls just jump off the roof of a building together. And it's like, oh, that's not great. And then from there, it's just like, oh, look
I
how
don't.
cute and innocent they
I
are.
don't
And
remember that.
so
Jumping off
it's
a
like,
roof.
yeah, well, you're just so the entire episode I was just waiting, like, okay, where's the dark turn in this? When does this get bad? And it comes like at the very end. So it,
Well,
like didn't come as a surprise at the end, and so it just felt like they were building this up. And like, I know this isn't what this show is. Like, come on, get
yeah,
to it
when
already.
you show something like that at the beginning, it ruins it. Like
Hmm.
that sounds like they tried to do what Gakko Garashi did, but bad.
Yeah. So yeah,
I,
I
I literally don't remember two girls jumping off at all at any point in the
yeah.
manga. So I don't know if maybe that's later on and they decide to hint at it now, and it's just like a really dumb choice. But
I mean, that's definitely what it seems to be, of just a future story thing that they're showing now to take you in.
I don't even remember that in the future. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna watch more of that. I didn't like it.
yeah, that sounds like a poor directing choice. Who is the director
Yeah,
on this, anyways?
who knows?
Kusakawa Izo. He did Akuma no Riddle, which was okay.
Yeah, that show's alright.
He did Campion, which was trash. Oh, he's the guy who did Dog Days. So he's done some of the
Hmm.
Nanoha series,
Oh,
which is also somewhat dark. He also did Genai wo Kaku Tai. Okay, he's usually pretty good at the darker stuff. So maybe once it actually stops pretending not to be dark and just goes with it, it'll be alright. Because
yeah, maybe.
he did Nanoha A's, which is one of my favorite animes of all time.
Uh,
So,
yeah. Uh, let's see, other stuff I watched. Well, talking about the shows I didn't like, I also watched another episode of Island. That was
why are
bad.
you doing this to yourself? Just watching
Yeah, I
trash.
stopped. Yeah,
Alright.
I
The
definitely got
character
that one.
designs are cute. Actually, you know what? The Miko girl, I don't like her design.
Yeah,
Like, it's one thing to give a girl like an afro type thing, but her hair is like 5 times the size of her head. It's kind of weird.
yeah, it's bad.
It,
But yeah,
it just
it was like it's on the what, like third episode I think, and it was just like, oh, here's the beach episode now. We're already getting into that, so like, yeah, I'm done.
what, you're 3 episodes in? I thought you were only two.
Was it two? Is it two? Oh, this was the third episode.
You've
So yeah,
watched. See, I would have thought you would have dropped to after two. I can't believe you made it to
yeah.
three.
I mean, I only made it like 3 minutes in, so
The three
it
episode
was
rule.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that show's not good. And then I also started to watch Banana Fish, and then dropped that halfway through.
Banana fish.
Yeah, it was really dumb. There's this thing, like, it starts off with uh a dude is like dying, and he like just groans some final words to another guy and just says banana fish, and then that happens a second time with different people. It's like, this is really dumb.
Banana
Just,
fish.
yeah. Ugh. It's just, I don't know. Like, then there was the other stuff in it was like, I don't know. It's hard to describe. It just didn't seem good. Like, the story seemed really like it was going to be kind of predictable or
Did they
something. I
have
don't
all
know.
the homophobic stuff in it, or did they cut that out down some?
They had a little bit so far.
Okay, because I've heard this series, because it's from 1985, gets like really homophobic at points.
Yeah, that's one of the things I've heard about it. And so that's why I was curious to check it out to see if they clean that up at all. And just from what's in this episode, it seems like they didn't. So I'm not
Alright.
going to be watching more of that either. But on to the things that are actually good. Uh, I did I did watch Hanibado. That's good.
Yes. That was episode 3 aired, right? Yes.
Yeah,
I'm also caught up. It's so good.
excellent.
it
It is.
feels
It's
like
really
they're
good.
rushing through the character arc in development really
Hmm.
fast. But I I
Yeah.
I think it's not done, of course, because she's still gonna have the thing of beating the other girl and then like having to see her mom at some point in the series.
Hmm.
So there's gonna be more growth.
Yeah.
But also, fuck her mom. Her mom's awful.
Yeah. That's. I'm curious to learn what happened there.
Hmm.
Seems intriguing. But yeah.
So fuck the
Hmm?
pink-haired girl. What the
Oh
fuck
yeah.
was that entire
It
scene? Just like
was.
I'm gonna tie you up and make you sick. Like
Yeah,
what?
that was weird. The whole character was just bizarre. She just like shows up and then is like demands a match, and then after the match, just kind of leaves and is gone. Like what? Okay.
So remember, you can
He,
never beat me. Yeah, you
like
got
yeah,
her like violently sick, and you can be like, well, I was sick too, but it's like you were sick first. You were probably getting better already. Like it's
yeah,
not fair footing.
yeah. And it's like, it's like you don't even go to the school. What are you doing here? Just go away.
Yeah.
But yeah, that show looks good though.
The fact that the other people just let her do it too, it's like, what the fuck? Just fight him.
Yeah, everyone's just cool with all this happening. Like what? Uh,
I did like this stuff with the her friend talking about how she felt like she didn't have a place and like what's her name didn't need to rely on her anymore and how it made her sad. Cause that's some real gay undertones right there, I tell you.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
I,
Very,
I,
very.
I really hope those two end up gay. Like, it's like, I
Yeah,
don't
me
need
too.
my mom, I fucking love you. Thanks for getting me back into my passion.
Yeah, I was getting that too. Very hopeful. Not necessarily expecting it to, but hopeful.
Yeah. It's not like crossing time bait.
Yeah. So, in other sports, I also watched Haruka Receive. That show is, I don't know, it's still okay. It's like getting a bit more fan servicey, but it's still not too bad. I don't know. I'm kind of torn on whether this show is good or not.
I need to watch it still. I love
Yeah.
sports shows, and there's not
Hmm.
enough female-led sports shows, so I need to watch it anyways. Same with
Yeah.
Two Car for that same reason.
Yeah.
Despite Two Car
Well.
being Two Car, I need to
Yeah.
watch the middle portion.
Yeah. You can watch the middle of Two Car.
I
That's
just
the good
I
part.
just want to see the masochist. Just give me the
Yeah. Those are.
masochist and the sadist.
Yeah. That pair might be the highlight of that show. I'm not sure. It might be. Well, they're like the second best pair, I think.
What's the best pair?
Uh, I don't remember what their like gimmick is, but they're like every episode cuts to them for like a minute, and they're just sitting in a restaurant together, like having drinks or something, and they're just really over the top and silly. It's hard to explain. Yeah, they're very good.
Alright. Well, I guess I'll see
Like
them when I see them.
yeah, they're like oh our bond is unbreakable and our love is forever, and they're ridiculous. It's great. Well, uh, anyway. And the other last new show I watched was Chio School Road. And I don't know, that show is weird.
It's
Mm.
it's the better gag manga of the season.
Hmm.
I haven't seen episode 2 yet, but I've read a bunch of the mangas, so. Did they
Yeah,
have the motorcycle sketch this?
yeah. Where she like she
Yes.
accidentally knocks dude out and then knocks over his motorcycle.
That's one of my favorite ongoing gags.
Yeah.
Because they do return to that
Hmm.
motorcycle character again.
Yeah.
So dope.
The next episode preview says it will be in the next episode. So yeah. But yeah, I actually don't know if I'm gonna keep up with it because like I'm just not super into like comedy gag shows.
That's
So
fair.
yeah.
But, I mean, it's better than Asobi Asobase, which
Yeah.
everyone I know who's watched episode 2 says it's suddenly a lot weaker. Like, episode
Oh
1 wasn't that great to begin with, so
yeah.
it
That's
just
unfortunate.
it just has good facial expressions for, like, reaction
Yeah.
images. Like, I would watch it
Yeah.
just to find those. Nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah, and then last thing was I'm still watching more Fist of the North Star, which is still a very good show. like I finished the first arc of it, which is which is season 1 on Crunchyroll, which is
Hmm.
22 episodes. And something I really appreciate about it is that there was never a moment where Ken was like outmatched. He never had to like go and train and power up to beat anyone. It's like everyone was kind of equal in power against him
Hmm.
up until like the very end of the arc when he fought Shin, and then he got stronger then, but not through like by choice, just by rage. But yeah, then I watched the first episode of the second arc. I'm interested in who the new villain is.
No,
His name is Ray, and he's some dude. So yeah, Wisdom North Star still good.
all
I'm
right,
still watching.
still
Yeah,
going.
yeah.
Hasn't
So,
gone old. That's good.
yeah, so yeah. How about you? What have you been watching?
So I actually read a bunch of manga this week. I can't say the names because they're random Yuri one-shots for the most part that you can't find. Like they
Okay.
aren't on Mal like Kitsu.
Yeah.
Wait, when did this week start?
The
The
ninth,
10th.
10th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's a new chapter, Shoriteki ni Shindakure.
Mm-hmm.
So that was good. And then, uh, no, I mentioned these. Why does it say I watched it on the 10th? I mentioned my cute little kitten last week.
Mm.
Huh. Oh, it's because my manga history's messed up. That's why. It's not
Oh.
showing the actual new stuff I've watched. Anyways, or I read. I read a bunch of chapters of Oinari JK Tamamo-chan, which is like high school Inari Tamamo-chan. It's a transfer student from Kyoto, but she is an Inari from Fushimi Inari Shrine, which is like a fox. And she's using magic to transform herself, but she sucks at it, so anyone who's under a certain age can see like what she really is, and they're just too embarrassed to mention it. They're like, she's so nice and pure, just don't bring it up to her, so she thinks it's working.
Yeah.
And people like pray to her and stuff when she's not looking because she's like an attendant to a god. It's just a dumb comedy slice of life.
Mm.
It's cute.
Sounds, yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Um, Furries would enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started reading the first volume of My Solo Exchange Diary, the Nagata Kabi, the new series that's coming out in English, the like follow up to my lesbian experience with loneliness.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm about a third of the way into the first volume of that. There's two Bowling ones out right now, and it's really good, but it's really hard to read at times because it's so relatable. Just like my lesbian experience with loneliness was, like it hits the nail on the head on like what it feels like to be in these certain situations perfectly. Like they're so good at visually representing how they feel that it like I get like secondhand uncomfortable just because I like understand and recognize it so well. It's a fantastic series.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm meaning to pick that up soon.
Yeah.
Definitely
So
want to read it.
if I'm trying to remember some of the Yuri one-shot stuff I read, there's one about a teacher who picks, or like an office worker who picks up a cat that turns out to be a high school vampire girl.
Okay,
Yeah,
that sounds pretty good.
it was interesting, weird. I don't. It was a bit nonsensical, but it was a thing. There's another one where a girl's dead boyfriend comes back in a high school girl's body. It was a one shot. It wasn't that great. Um, then there's another one with actual chapters. Let me see if I can find the name here. It just wasn't on Mal or anything, but there
Mm-hmm.
were actual chapters. Also, apparently Kaon's back. I forgot about that. Kaon's getting stuff again, but it's called Shuffle, and it's new characters, I
Oh,
think.
yeah, we had mentioned that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
That
but
was been
apparently
announced.
the first chapter is translated now, if you can find it.
Oh, cool.
Uh, the other one I read was called Between Philia and Eros. There are three chapters out, and it's like a girl who has a crush on another girl, and the other girl figures out. But there's all
Mm-hmm.
these rumors about this other girl always going out with guys and breaking up with them, and she asked the girl who had a crush on her out, and the girl who likes the other girl who dates all the guys, her best friend likes her, so it's like making a love triangle. But it seems interesting. The
Yeah.
art is cute. It's yeah. I really
Cool.
feel for the tall awkward girl who like has the crush on the other girl. It's like it's never gonna
Aw.
work. And the other girl's like, why don't we try? And it's like, oh shit, it's happening. So the office lady one was called Story About Oel-san Picking Up a Cat, which is an awful name. And then the gender bender one was My Dead Boyfriend Came Back as a High School Girl, which is also awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to check out the K-On! Shuffle. I don't know how great it'll be because Kakafly, like the original K-On! Manga, isn't that great, honestly. Like
Oh.
they're all short slice of life. Like it's very basic if you've ever read it. What they did with that anime is amazing for the amount of content they had to work with. Like
Yeah.
that anime, the creators of it really know how to make something out of like the barest essentials, and I really respect that. Um, but yeah, so outside of the stuff I read, I did watch some stuff. Oh, that's the wrong
Cool.
page. Uh, so I mentioned I also was caught up on Hanebado.
Mhm.
That's the wrong thing. Well, it's not updating anyways. I checked out Cells at Work. I watched the first episode. It was okay. I know a lot of people are talking about how fantastic it was, but I wasn't super grabbed by the first episode. It was okay. It was
Yeah.
enjoyable, but it wasn't like mind blowing. So maybe it picks up by the second episode because that seems to be the one everyone freaks out. It was freaking out about that I saw online.
Mm.
It really does. Everyone was saying it's anime Osmosis Jones is a joke, but it really feels like anime Osmosis Jones, like a lot.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild, but it's
Yeah.
okay. Cool character
I
designs.
I feel like I've seen people be excited about the concept of that show more than any of the actual content so far.
Yeah, it's kind
People are
of
like, oh, yeah, they're like, oh, it's Osmosis Jones but anime, and that's like kind of is all anything anyone is saying about it.
people are
So
nostalgic for Osmosis Jones. They want it back.
yeah.
But yeah, no, it's got a neat concept. It's pretty cool. It's
Hmm.
pretty all right.
Yeah.
Um, I wouldn't say it's amazing, but it's all right. And then the other thing I did is I went back and I finished Crossing Time because it's only 3 minutes per episode. It's halfway
Hmm.
through. It's pretty bad. It's
Oh.
real bad. They do go back though and have two parts, like a second part to a couple of those stories.
Hmm.
All the bad ones, like as the series goes on, it just gets creepier and creepier.
Ugh.
Right up the second last episode, it's so freaking creepy. I'm like, no. Um,
Ugh.
there's one story that's actually kind of sweet in it. It's like this 6-year-old guy at a crosswalk. He's like, I used to go here, like cross here in high school. I haven't been here in ages, and he's remembering like this girl who used to always sit on the other side, crossing the other way, reading. That he like
Hmm.
gave a letter with his like feelings for, but then never went back to talk to her about them.
Hmm.
And he runs into uh, her daughter, who looks just like her, and I think she had passed away or something, but it's not really clear. But she was a writer and wrote about like that time in her feelings, so
Yeah.
she like gave them to him so he could read them, and that she like sort of felt the same way back, and that was kind of sweet. But then they sold it at the end because the high school girl starts going like, does your heart beat since I look just like her? It's like, what the fuck?
Mm.
That's creepy. He's like 50. He liked your
Yeah.
mom. Fuck you. Like, it was
Ugh.
super sweet up until then. And then, yeah, the last episode goes back to the two girls from the first. I'm like, okay, maybe just watch the first and second episode. Or the first and last episode. That's all you need, right? You get the year. They don't even conclude that story.
Oh.
The other girl's just super, like, confused and stuff. And the girl's like, if you don't like me and you hate me, that's fine. She's like, no, I'm just confused because no one's asked me out before. I don't fucking know what to do.
Mm.
And that's it. That like there's no development. There's no even like
Yeah.
inkling that she actually does like her back. They're just like, yeah, no one's asked me up before. I don't fucking know.
Mm.
So
Huh.
yeah, Crossing Time was the greatest bait of our century. I've never been baited. I've never fucking been baited so hard by a first episode.
Yeah.
Nothing has tricked me so hard.
The
Not
first
even,
episode.
not even
Ugh.
fucking Naruto got me like this.
Ugh. First episode was so promising. Could have been so good.
Yeah, it was hot trash. Just
Yeah.
watch the first episode and nothing else. I just want to write a fanfic where those two date because fuck everything else about that series.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't like that I watched the new Alderman episode. I should do that.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone can
Speaking
see
of
me
Alderman.
live updating my shit.
Yeah.
What the fuck is it? Did I ever put that I was watching it at all? Whoa, wait, what's
Yeah.
the Japanese? Okay, yeah, there it is. It's
It's something long.
Nejimaki. Starts
Yeah.
with an N. Nejimaki.
I,
Yeah,
I really wish that Mal would at least have the English names more available.
make it
'Cause,
so you
like, I
can
know
like
that.
choose which to use.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. Also, I wish Crunchyroll would like include the Japanese names if you go searching for something.
Oh god, yeah,
Ugh.
no.
This something annoys me about anime sites in general. Some use the English name, some use the
There-
Japanese name, and some
there's-
use both.
So there's this
Ugh.
weird idea I've seen around a lot that if you only know Japanese names, it's because you're downloading and stealing them. If you only know English, it's because you are getting them legally, and that's not true. The only reason people say that is because Crunchyroll has this issue,
Mm-hmm.
but Nal has the opposite issue. So you have to know both names. It's not you just use whichever one the people around you are using. That doesn't mean you're like more prone to watching illegally or not. But people have this idea that it is like related to that. It's like, nah, you're a fucking idiot. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. I just wish everyone would just use both names and let you switch between whatever you want. Ugh.
yeah.
It's really annoying when like Mal posts like a news post about something and they use the Japanese name. I go, I have no idea if that's something I know of or not
Yeah, or
because I don't know these names.
it's like everyone calls cells at work. But then on Mal
Yeah.
it's Hataraku Saibo. Like, no one
Yeah.
says that.
Yeah.
Fucking no one. Not even like the deepest weebs say Hataraku Saibo because it's
Yeah,
cells at work is so much catchier.
yeah, it's a better name.
Well, I mean, it's the same name, just in
yeah.
different languages, but
Yeah, rolls off the tongue better.
especially if you speak English as a main
Yeah.
language, like, because
Yeah.
I get it. There are some that sound better. Like,
Hmm.
I think Fumikiri Jiken sounds better than Crossing Time.
Yeah, Crossing Time is a weird name.
Yeah, it's like a weird translation, but
Yeah.
that's just, it's like the opposite. It's whatever, I guess. But yeah,
Yeah.
so you had such a good transition to Alderman, and I just I pulled this back. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I took away your moment.
That's okay. Yeah. Alderman, episode 2.
I actually really liked this episode,
Yeah.
despite
It was
not
alright.
much happening.
Yeah.
I loved the first scene because they like so when you see those three soldiers or whatever that find him and they're all worried or whatever.
Mhm.
But as soon as he like says that he's like a refugee and for his mom, like they did a super good job at humanizing these other 1 episode 5 minute characters.
Yeah.
They're like trying to make him feel comfortable. They're like, yeah, no, it's okay. They mentioned that multiple people have been fleeing, which says something's wrong with the other country, not so much them, and it makes you question who's in the right here, which they get into
Yeah.
more in the episode. There's really good foreshadowing. Like, this scene
Yeah.
was super good. But
It
they have
was.
them like making jokes about like unless she's huge or whatever, and they're like trying to like they all kind of say some lines that show up bits of their personality. Like you can tell there's one guy who's kind of older and then two kids,
Mhm.
and they're like kind of new to this, and they aren't aggressive. They're not just like this cutthroat country. They're like, oh yeah, no, we help anyone who wants help. Like Like
Yeah.
we're totally fine with taking in refugees and helping, like, and they're just like happy and stuff, and then they get violently killed off
Yeah.
because it's war, and that's what war does. And that was such a good scene that they like show that distinction that it's not just killing bad guys, it's killing other humans with their own lives and their own ideals. And I
Yeah.
really love that scene. And as
Mm-hmm.
much as I hate Itsuki or whatever the fuck, Iska,
Ikta.
Ikta,
Ikta.
Ikta,
Yeah.
right, Ikita. As much as I dislike him, I did really like the scene too of him like paying their respect in the fact that he's like treating them with like
Mm-hmm.
decency, but also holy fuck, the scene where he's like getting information. It's like you're putting off us healing them, and he keeps asking more questions. That last question he asked, "Have you seen the border?" makes it
Mm-hmm.
really feel like he asked that question because he knew the guy was going to die and they didn't have time, so he was trying to like push it out, like make him
Mm-hmm.
hang on to hope that they'd heal him or something, but then
Yeah.
never actually do it, which felt really underhanded. But then it's also such a good way again to like humanize these characters, to show that they've never been to front lines, they've never been to the border, they aren't taking part in the frontline wars, they're just like reserves, just in the middle of nowhere. They just got unlucky, like
Mm-hmm.
they've never even seen combat and they were just violently killed off. It's oh, it was so good.
Yeah. It was. It was. There was one thing about Ikta that I thought was odd related to this was that like he did go to their bodies and like gave them the food and prayers and stuff, but then like before when they were still in the forest and like had just killed them, he was like being very nonchalant about them and it's like,
Oh,
oh, like this is just how it is, and like being very cold about it all, while the Torway was like really he was like shook about having
yeah.
to shoot someone. And then like so it seemed like Ikta was kind of hiding his true nature, and like oh he actually felt bad about killing them too, but he didn't want to show the others that for some reason. Like, and then later on there's the scene with Torway and the lady Yatori, where she's like, oh, you need to be more you need to not care about them so much, basically. And I just thought that was really weird, that like there's no reason for Ikta to be like pretending to not care about these soldiers when he does. And I don't know, it was just a weird thing about that.
I think it's supposed to, because they do mention that like you see in a lot of war stuff, or
Mm-hmm.
if you listen to a lot of war documentaries, it's like you don't want to have to kill the other person, but
Mm-hmm.
you have to kill them first or they'll kill you. That's all it is. Like
Yeah.
you like if you have to just take that as a fact. You can't like
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty much him being like, yeah, that's just what happens. Like it's
Yeah.
war. That's what happens. If you try not to have it happen, you're going to be the one who dies. But you can take the like you don't have to like you can take the moment after to reflect about it. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
my original note there until he actually did the whole berry thing
Yeah.
was they're treating the sprites better than the people.
Yeah, that was
But
weird
then they
too.
went back and changed it so they didn't. It's I think because the
Yeah.
sprites were still alive in that moment.
Yeah.
That I'm curious about how the sprite soul stones work. That was interesting. They just drop a
Yeah.
rock out of them. Are they just sprite corpses everywhere that you can collect and put them in later, or
Yeah. I
like
bet
this?
those the sprite's bodies right like dissolve or something
Yeah. Well, they
over
did
time.
mention like them being reborn or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
And that makes me wonder, like, what did the sprites, like, how much sentience did they have? Like,
Mhm.
because they they seem to know that they work with these people, and but then they like don't seem to understand, like, oh, these people were fighting against the people that I was with, and like, oh, we're gonna take you sprites back to our country and to give you the whatever, I'll bring you back or whatever, and they're just like cool with that, and there's no like there was no hostility there, so I'm wondering like, do they understand the conflict? Like I don't know.
Yeah, I almost felt like they didn't even understand they were dead. But
Yeah.
it might also be something like they understand the conflict, but they don't care. They make like a pact almost, maybe, where they get to
Hmm.
live in the real world and have a physical body in return for their work, so they don't care what it is, they just want the body, possibly
Yeah.
as well.
Could be like that. Yeah.
I'm really interested because I sometimes forget that sprites are a thing in this, and then they show up. And I'm like, oh yeah, how are they gonna use that?
Yeah.
I really like the ploy to get over the bridge too with the
Yeah.
air balloon.
Yeah. that was pretty good.
I was
Uh,
surprised they didn't put one person in the balloon to like try to land it in their territory and actually get the weapons, but
hmm
they got them
Yeah,
anyways.
yeah, got him eventually.
Um, but yeah, they went. They like, oh, we saved the princess or wherever, and they meet the general, and it's the general they're talking about in the first episode where they say he's going to lose within a month.
hmm
Like he calls it, and he. I
Yeah,
really think here it's like you really feel for the general almost like he knows he's going to lose, he knows
yeah,
he's going to die, he doesn't need someone to tell him, but you start to see more of like what I mentioned about, is this really the good country?
oh yeah,
Like the princess has her ring and she's talking about rotting the tree, like the family
hmm
tree, and all needs to rot and die. She
yeah.
needs to get back to make it go faster. I think she's poisoning her dad because her dad did not look good. I think she's gonna
Um,
poison him, kill him off, and take over, and then like try to make the country good again.
mm,
Because they were also mentioning how like that eastern province they just like didn't give a shit about, and it was like an awful place to live, which is why all the refugees ran to the new empire, wherever the republic.
hmm Yeah. Something another thing I thought was odd was that the princess in like the first part of the episode when they were still in the cave and escaping, she seemed like this innocent little girl, and then in the second part of the
Mm-hmm.
episode when they're like in the carriage ride after they get their honorary titles or whatever, and the princess is like bringing up Icta's past and telling like, oh, you've been lying to us about all this stuff about your parents and that dude that trained you and whatever, and she just seemed completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Like she and it was just like she seemed like such a like more older, mature, like more conniving person than what she was before, and it just seemed weird.
I don't know so much if it's more older or if it's like
Yeah.
because she's now like back where she has power and in her position
Mhm.
of power she feels more comfortable to exploit it and use it.
Mhm.
Like she knows she's back in their country. She's back
Yeah.
to like, but also he said something to her about like she needs to like live. I saved your life. Don't treat it so lightly. And she seemed to like really just hate her family and want it to end. But maybe now because of that, like the past month, she's been scheming something up, thinking about that, and she's
Mhm.
like fucking with him to try to manipulate him into doing it. Because I thought she seemed manipulative from the beginning. I didn't think she was nearly as carefree as people thought. Like, there's the whole thing with her on the boat, which is questionable, and her sneaking a peek on them to see who's who and stuff. Like, I think she
Mhm.
was planning something from the moment she was on the boat.
Yeah. 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 I don't know. It'd be interesting to find out because yeah, she was up to something originally because boat and she shouldn't be. I always kind of took that as just she just wanted to run away, but then I don't know why she would get on that specific boat.
Because, yeah, the boat's going to, like, training for military commanders,
Yeah.
which I think might be she's trying to get trusted commanders for when she pulls a coup. That's my guess.
Yeah.
Um,
Probably.
I did like the point that she's like trying to toy with him and trying to assert herself in the better position. But when he like pretty much like grabs her and mentions like I'll kill you if you mention my mom again, she seemed like
Yeah.
really shook by it. Like she didn't expect that to be his character. I think she's like fucking with him because she's trying to figure out how he works. She's trying to figure out who exactly he is, whether she can trust him.
Mhm.
That's just the feeling I get though.
Yeah. Oh, it'll be interesting to see how that character plays out.
Hmm.
Yeah. Mm. There's one other thing. One other problem I had with this was Ikta at the end he mentions like, oh, here's the three things I don't want to be, and now I'm all three of them.
Oh yeah.
Like one of those was he didn't want to be a soldier, but like he was in soldier school and going to take
Well,
exams to like become an officer.
he
And
was doing that because they were. Remember, he was gonna rig it for the other girl.
yeah, but I think they
I think he
mentioned
was
that
going
they
to fail it after, and she was gonna do
well,
like.
yeah, so that was the plan, but like he like they had already been in military school, like they were just going to go do more military school,
Well,
and like So why would you enroll in the first military school if you don't want to be a soldier? Because if you go to military school, you become a soldier at all. And now he's like, "Oh, I'll go help you. Like, I'll go help you ace this test and make you look impressive and everything." But like, I don't. He don't want to be a soldier, but he's still training to be a soldier. That doesn't make
I
sense.
think maybe he used to. Like, I think there was before this war started, right? Because he's like seeing how useless it is, so he's like, "Fuck, I don't want to part in it." But they mentioned his dad, who
Mm-hmm.
was like a famous soldier who was then. I'm pretty sure it's in this war he became like a laughing stock because they're specifically mentioning that is with the other country.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then his master, who or like his teacher, only
Yeah.
left a couple months beforehand.
Yeah.
He only defected to the other country a few months beforehand, so it's like maybe up until his teacher defected, he was still wanting to be a soldier. Like, whereas
Mm-hmm.
at some point his mom dies too, but we don't know when that was in that time frame
Yeah.
either. And he gets really upset that I think she specifically says that his mom was like basically invited into the enemy king's harem and then given to his dad because his dad betrayed their country.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's like saying like she was basically a prostitute whore, and that's why he
Yeah.
got so upset. But like, I think that would be really interesting if it's like maybe he was in soldier school up until then because he didn't know about that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like because they also said like how long has he been in this orphanage, not knowing without people knowing his name, but like when did his mom die? At what point did he find everything out? We just don't
Yeah.
know. I
Yeah.
think there's a bit more to it in relation to like whenever his mom died, whenever his teacher defected and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Oh, I think there was one
hmm?
thing that really bothered me that was backwards.
Oh, yeah.
When the captain is like saying he'll stand his ground till he dies, Ikta says something like, "Do you want to be another?" and then mentions his dad's name, but
Mm-hmm.
like, why aren't you defecting and leaving? But his dad defected and left. That was the issue. So it's like, isn't that backwards? Like,
Yeah.
unless if that implies that his dad didn't defect and leave and was left for dead but survived, and then they just
Mm,
made that story up possibly too as propaganda, because we are
yeah.
seeing already how they're like twisting news and like stories for propaganda, so there might be
Yeah.
something more deep like that in the plot.
Yeah. But there's some deeper truth to what his dad did.
Hmm.
It's been covered up. Yeah. Mm,
That's
I
about
don't know.
all I got.
Yeah. There's just one other little silly thing here is like so in the start of the episode when they were still escaping the other country, it's like when they were walking across the bridge, they had the princess looking at Ikta and like started blushing or something. I was thinking like, man, I hope I hope Ikta doesn't marry the princess. That would be like too good for him. Then I realized no, he would hate that. He would hate being married to a princess. So I hope it does happen.
Yeah, she politically marries him too,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
to
Just
force him to have to like defend. Oh,
yeah.
she would
Yeah.
love it too, because it's like, what's the best way to fucking ruin my lineage? Marry this famous betrayer or whatever, like, and
Yeah.
this guy who fucking hates the country. Let's go.
Yeah. Be good.
And then, while they're in a political marriage, she can just like date one of the girls off on the side.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah, make it gay. 2018.
Yeah. Yeah. And move on to the other show.
Yes, our
Yeah.
replacement.
Yeah.
Wish upon a Pleiades, or Hokago no Pleiades. It's
That
magical
is.
girls.
Yeah.
Yay! We're back. We're magical girls.
Magic.
Yeah. I really like some of the concepts of this in that I don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, kind of. Like, I know some
Yeah.
stuff, but they haven't gone like too in depth explaining anything yet. I think it was a good
Hmm.
episode to give you a lot of questions to be like, alright, someone please explain. All I know
Yeah.
is somehow she's become a magical girl that her old friend is part of and some other girls, and they're trying to help some weird ball alien collect parts of its spaceship, and some random boy or girl, I'm not sure, some random androgynous individual, non-binary individual that they met is stealing the pipes apparently. Because that's
Hmm.
clearly, they're like, who is that? It's like, it's clearly the person you met in the other magic area.
Yeah. I- So my very first note on this is Subaru, because at the start there's a Subaru logo. I
Oh
was
yeah,
like, wait,
pink.
what?
The pink-haired girl's name is Super. Oh yeah, this is by
Yeah,
Gynax too, isn't it? What the
yeah,
fuck? It's a Gynax show from 2015. So
yeah.
this is by the creators of Gurren Lagann and Fooly Cooly. So it's not gonna make a lot of sense. Is it
Yeah.
original? It is original. Oh, this is gonna be wild.
Yeah. I really hope at some point that's like she introduces herself to people and then they go, "Oh, Subaru, you mean like the car company?"
Yes,
Like,
it's just like really bad company
yeah.
branding.
Yes. Oh, that would be so
Bad
good.
advertisements. I love the outfits though of the girls. They all
Yeah.
have their own hats. The pink haired girl has the goddamn pirate hat. Or
Yeah.
the purple hair, not pink. I want to know about these characters. Their designs are cute and interesting.
Yeah. They're
Um,
good.
Aoi, the blue haired girl, is I my
Mhm.
favorite.
Yeah, me too. She's good.
She's real good.
She's Yeah. Like she's kind of a jerk to Subaru in this, but just like they're working through some stuff. They're
Yeah,
figuring stuff out.
it
So,
sounds like they both think the other one did the same thing to them. So it
yeah.
sounds like they've had some miscommunication for a while and just need to talk it out.
Hmm.
Um, as mundane an idea as it was, I really want to know about Subaru's like. They show that she's really lonely and kind of by herself, which if Aoi
Hmm.
was her only friend, that's really depressing. But um, they show that she's trying to make like some constellation club and that her telescope's super important to her, but they don't
Hmm.
explain why. At first, I thought
Yeah.
it's like because you see the picture of her and her dad and the other girl, or her mom.
Hmm.
It's like the dad's dead. No, I bet right now it's her and Aoi used to go and stare at the stars together, probably.
Hmm. Yeah.
But it was so depressing. She's like trying to go see the stars. She's like had a viewing thing set up and no one came. She's by herself
Hmm.
after school trying to watch it. And it's just cloudy. I'm just like, Subaru, please, my heart. Someone be her friend, please.
Oh. Yeah.
But now she's got friends. Maybe.
Maybe. Oh, yeah. I really like that they're weird magic broom things. They call them like drive shafts and they make car engine noises.
Yeah, it's like a
It's
motorcycle.
yeah,
Almost.
it's so like out of nowhere. Like
It's so good.
what?
The sound design is so interesting on this show. Like,
Yeah.
it's not what I would expect, but it's kind of
Yeah.
fantastic. Uh, Unfortunately, there's some really awkward 3D CG in it.
Yeah.
2015 CG, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm kind of. I understand it saves money, but I'm kind of bummed they
Hmm.
used it in the first episode. I would have been fine in like every episode past, but
Yeah. I don't know. It's not as bad as the Bears, so
yeah,
you know.
it's much better than the Bears. The style it still works for.
Yeah.
Um, I really liked a lot of the imagery in the show though. Like they did a lot
Hmm.
of cool stuff with like the weather, but also with like just the shapes and colors. Like everything was really bright and eye-catching and interesting. The scene where they're like going up into the sky to chase the star, and you see them cross against like the yellow backdrop, and they're like the black shapes was really nice. Also, I love that the purple girl during that scene was just standing with like her arms crossed, 2 feet on her broom,
Oh yeah.
despite it going 90 degrees up. All the others are
Yeah.
kind of holding on. She's just like, nope, fuck it.
Yeah. That that girl
She's
standing on her thing is like that's such a good small character detail.
yeah, like I
Like
can
it
already tell
really
her character is just like wacky, kind of.
yeah. Yeah. It's very good.
Yeah, I'm.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you think? Do you think the redheaded person is evil or being manipulated by evil, or do you think the president is actually evil?
Mm,
Because
I
I'm not sure which it would be.
I think this is gonna be a
Yeah.
wild, wild outside. I think
Yeah.
the red-haired individual and the president
Mm-hmm.
are friends, but I think their relationship is going to mirror Subaru and Aoi's and how they've been like they feel like the other one hurt them,
Oh,
and I feel like
yeah.
that's going to be a plot thing throughout.
Okay.
Maybe, possibly, that's my guess.
Hmm.
Not excited about that theory.
That sounds pretty good. So, I don't know. I'm torn. This doesn't seem like so far. This doesn't seem like the thing that the kind of show that would have like, oh, the magical girls are actually working for the bad people, but also it's made by Gynax, so it could be literally anything.
Yeah, it could just be really standard and over the top, or it could be really backwards. Who knows?
Yeah. 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 I
I'm,
was
I'm
thinking if like if the president does end up being evil, then they have to end up working together with the redhead and make them a friend. So
I
I don't know.
want them to make the redhead a friend at the end, really bad.
Yeah, me too. I like the redhead so far.
Redhead,
They have good earrings.
I like their voice a lot. Who's the
Yeah.
voice actress? Because I recognize it. Why? Yeah. So the voice actress. Let's see. Uh, Kuwashima Hoko.
Hmm.
I'm sure I recognize that voice, and I want to figure out from where, because it's good.
Hmm.
I like that
Oh,
style of like. Oh, they're Tomoyo and Klana, but it's not the same style of voice.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, she played Marlene in Blue Gender.
oh,
So that's a good series.
played a bunch of
So,
stuff that's like not leads I would think about.
yeah.
Definitely not where I've heard it from, but like a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
She was in Halo, Halo Legends. She's one of the side character teachers in uh, Yuki Euphonium.
Oh.
Oh, she's one of the characters in Hyako. Okay, I think I know. I think that's where. She was also Sango in Inuyasha, but I only ever saw the dub because
Oh.
watch it as a kid, on TV. We don't
Yeah.
get subs.
She was Peridot in Land of the Lustrous.
Oh, oh, maybe
Yeah.
it's also
I don't know. I think Peridot was a pretty minor character. So.
yeah. She was Natal Badger. What the? She played
Huh?
like 5 different Gundam Seed characters. Goddamn, she was Flay, Natal Badger, Stella, Via. Like she was a bunch. That's actually wild. I didn't. Especially
Yeah.
like Flay and Natal Badger have very different voices, but I've mainly seen the dub, so I'm not super familiar. Like that's a good range.
Yeah.
I love Natal Badger as a character. I think they're really interesting.
Oh.
There's so much stuff. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh, she was in Oriemo. It's a side character.
I haven't seen Oreo. Don't try to call me out on being like trash. I watched A Sister Is All You Need Once. There's not even a sister in that. You can't play me. Oh, she played 2 characters in World Trigger, one of which I recognize a lot. I really like. Yeah, I think it's just a lot of like side characters I recognize the voice of.
Yeah.
But I really liked her voice. I like
Oh.
Aoi's too. I really like how like when Aoi's just with the other 4, she's like sounds kind of cool and mysterious, but as soon as Subaru appears, it all breaks and she gets like more high pitched and it's like, wait, Subaru, what? And she's just
Yeah.
flustered throughout. I
It
think
was
that
very
was a
good.
nice change in detail.
Yeah. That was very good. Ugh. I'm pretty interested to see more of this show.
Yeah,
Seems good.
I'm curious where it goes because right, like they just got straight into it,
Yeah.
so it's got to go somewhere.
I think this was like a really good first episode because it introduces enough of the world to like you kind of understand what's going on, but not totally. Like it introduces all the characters you need to know and introduce like here's the main plot. Here's what's going to happen here, and like it doesn't get into too much detail on any one thing. It doesn't get bogged down.
I
It's
think
really good.
I think
Yeah.
it could have been a little bit better structured. It did feel a bit nonsensical at points, but yeah, I do think it was a good first episode overall. I think they
Yeah.
did a good job at using just small scenes to like characterize the characters and like show
Yeah.
kind of their personalities. Like we know the yellow-haired one's kind of like the fun-loving, kind of like energetic, outgoing girl. The black-haired one is more reserved and like kind of like the nice girl.
Mm-hmm.
The purple-haired one's the weirdo who's like
She's like the
she
more
she
serious. Yeah.
she's like I don't even know if I'm more serious because she's like our our horoscope, our fortune telling, and like doing the
Oh
weird
yeah.
standing thing on her broom. She's like
Yeah.
the stoic girl
Yeah.
who's kind
That's the
of
one I was thinking of. Yeah.
scatterbrained and out there. Like she's very stoic and very straight up with her personality, but something about it's just a bit off at the same time. It's like
Yeah.
I like those characters. So
Yeah. It's good.
the transformation scene was really nice too. I liked how flowy the cape looked.
Mhm.
It looked like a
Yeah.
big fluffy coat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have much more to say.
Mhm. I don't know, only other note here I have is a presidential rainbow vomit. And the president just vomited rainbows onto her compass, and that turned it into her drive
That's
shaft
true.
thing.
That's true. Turned her compass into a magical device. Does she get her compass
Yeah.
back? Is that just gone? Does she have to buy a new one? She has
I
to
mean,
replace a lens in her poor
yeah,
telescope. But I guess she can just fly up into space now anyway, so that doesn't matter.
yeah. I think she said it was the protective lens.
Yeah.
Protect your eyes from sun stuff, I think.
Yeah, so you can't look at it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a good show. So we're definitely going to keep watching it then.
Yeah, I'm glad in my desperate bid to pick something at random to replace Happy Sugar Life, I got something decent, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be fun. And I like my Magical Girls series. This is what, the second one we've done now?
I think so.
Well, for sure we've done two now. I don't think we've done another, did we?
Mm, I don't know.
If you count Key,
Yeah, was Chaika a magical girl?
I don't think I'd count as Magical Girl. She is a girl with
Yeah.
magic. It was more of a fantasy
Yeah.
series. But yeah.
Dreamy or Mary, not really a magical. It's just a girl with magic. So yeah, it's like this in Matoi.
Yeah, she's like a demon. She's not really like a regular girl who gets magic.
Yeah.
This is Matoi. That's about it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
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 Oh,
Yes.
we
Yeah?
did do the oh, what was it? The magic in New York or wherever.
Oh yeah.
The one I'd maybe count
that
that
thing.
as like the teddy bear being a magic. I don't know. That one's iffy.
Yeah. That wasn't really like magical
That's
girl,
more
but that
Super
was,
Sentai, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Was it the main girl in that? Like she was just a totally normal person. There was just magic happening around her all the time.
Yeah, yeah. Like her
Yeah.
teddy bear became kind of
Yeah.
magical. Ah, he was nice, but yeah, I don't think there's any other magical girl stuff. I'm trying to think of the OVAs because I always forget the OVAs we've done.
Oh yeah.
We did the Matoi OVA. Technically on Mal, that's another series, so that gives us 3.
Mhm.
Alright.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's all the. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I've got.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's it for Shenanimegans for this week. We'll be back next week where you can watch us live on twitch.tv/saysome on Monday nights. And then if you don't want to watch it then, you can catch us on YouTube. You can go to shenanimegans.moe, subscribe to our YouTube channel.
I uploaded
Yeah.
the last episode on time. Woo!
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we're going to try and make sure to do that all season long now. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. And then you can follow us on Twitter. I'm at that lastly. You're at that you're at say some bots.
You almost like chilled yourself twice there.
Yeah, almost. I almost said that say some bots. I'm like, wait, no, that's not right. Yeah, and then you can come hang out on our Discord at shenanimegans.moa/discord. Yeah. So yeah, and that's it for this week. We'll see you again next week. Same time, same place. The Alderman episode 3 and Play This or whatever episode 2.
I think it's Pleiades. I'm not,
Pleiades, something.
because it's like the constellation, right?
Yeah.
I think that's how it's
Uh,
pronounced. I don't know.
it's that is too many vowels in a row. EIA all in a row. That's just not fair. My brain can't comprehend that.
Eingo, Eingo. I can't keep singing that. We're gonna get copyright.
No.
I know it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's open source shit.
Oh no. Well, I guess we better end the podcast before we get caught.
Alright. Take care.
See you next week.